I believe they're the true parents. True parents are the most blessed people in this world. And they're also the most loved by God in the spiritual world and on earth. It is also the true father is the person that true mother also loved the most on earth. Therefore, true father is the most blessed person on earth. And it's already 13 years since father ascended to the spirit world, and I cannot forget that day when father ascended. That was 2000. Sorry, he missed the year. It was 2012. I was in I think it was in July in Las Vegas, 2012. It was actually a really, really hot month in Las Vegas, like the hottest actually. And father had really pushed himself to the extreme that he had really a bad flu. And so mother would like ask him, let's go to the hospital, like would plead with him to go to the hospital, and it was really but for father, even the time to go to the hospital was just, he didn't want to waste his time, to go to the hospital. And who do you think is the second most precious? It is none other than you, everyone, because you are the people that true father so loved, the children that true father so loved. And therefore, you indeed are really loved very much and truly blessed. Adieu, everyone. Please clap your hands. It is here that we have to say adieu. So you shouldn't really, you should fully, express your hearts, during such times. So, and father, with such pain and exhaustion he went on a long trip again to come to Korea. And as soon as he arrived in Cheoncheongung, he went straight to Yeosu. And then in Yeosu, he began again offering fishing devotions. And Yeosu is actually very close right to the sea, and you know how the winds are actually really strong even though it's the summer, because it is on the ocean, by the ocean. But in the process, father's cold was getting worse, but he wasn't going to the hospital. And so from a physical, father actually collapsed and fainted because he was really sick. But luckily we were then able to take father to the hospital. But before that, father would not go to the hospital no matter what. He didn't want to go to the hospital because he really didn't want to waste time in a hospital. And so he ended up going to the hospital. So first father got treated, and he received treatment first. And while he was in hospital, father wanted to go out so badly. And he's like, I don't have time to stay in the hospital because there's just so much work to do. And I'm so busy right now. And so he ended up coming out of the hospital. And even that again worsened his illness. Like, he really had no consciousness whatsoever. He was hospitalized in St. Mary's Hospital, Songmo Hospital. And I remember he had no consciousness, and I really could see how much mother really loved father and really cared after father. And I cannot, even now, I still vividly remember how much true mother cared after father. So when father was in Songmo Hospital, really, it was really a time when father could not physically function whatsoever. So we had to take father to Cheongpyeong, and we took care of him from the 8th floor at the HA Magnolia Hospital. It was a time where really father was fighting life and death, where true mother and all of the true family members had gathered around father to be with him at his last moments. And when he was at the hospital, actually, father couldn't move at all. He was really taking his last moments, and everyone there, the true family and true mother, sang the song 사랑해 for true father. And then father kind of slightly then moved his fingers. Until then, he was in such a state that he couldn't even move at all. And yet after that song, I could see his fingers move, and while I could see his fingers, when I saw him move slightly, was that I really because mother and the true children were singing the song 사랑해, and I felt like that little tweak of his hands was like his expression of saying, Mother, I love you. I could hear that from him through that small action. And then Father ascended, left our side, and ascended to the spirit world. And so for me, it really didn't feel like Father was in the spirit world. Even now, at this very moment, though it's been 13 years since Father has gone to the spiritual, it still doesn't feel real because Father is still very much alive in my heart. Right, everyone? Is Father alive in your hearts? Is it still working in your hearts through you? So I have used already a lot of my time, but I try to kind of like outline 5 key achievements of true fathers that I would like to share with you. Today is the 13th anniversary of the holy ascension of our beloved true Father, the true parent of heaven, earth, and humankind. In the world, death is immediately associated with sorrow, but in our family federation, however, the end of earthly life signifies being newly born in the heavenly realm, and we're taught that we should rejoice and celebrate it, even more so than the wedding of a bride. And therefore, it is really, really normal, natural for me to speak before you today about the significance of True Father's holy ascension. And as we mark the 13th anniversary of True Father's holy ascension, I may appear unfilled to some who grieve Father's absence and lament his holy ascension, and yet to those people. But True Father's holy ascension is recognized not only by our blessed families, but also by Heavenly Parent as a very natural phenomenon in accordance with the principle of creation. Therefore, today, on the occasion of the 13th anniversary of True Father's holy ascension, I would like us to take a moment to reflect on its meaning. Who is true Father? So first, the returning Messiah, true Father, is the one who became the true parent by marrying the only begotten daughter, true mother. Second, he is the one who, through the blessing, has opened the way to restore all humankind to their original state in the Garden of Eden. And third, he is the one who has broken down the boundaries between the spiritual and earthly realms, connecting them as one realm. And fourth, he is the one who proclaimed the era of Chanuguk in which Heavenly Parent and humanity live together as one. And fifth, he is the one who established the foundation for the tangible arrival of the era in which Heavenly Parent exercises authority and has dominion. So, the returning Messiah, true Father, became the true parents by marrying the only begotten daughter, true mother. So, Heavenly Parent is the Alpha and Omega, whose beginning and end are the same. Whatever Heavenly Parent begins must be brought to completion at all costs. And heaven sought to fulfill the will through Jesus. God was able, therefore, to begin the will through Jesus, but could not see its completion. And by becoming the true parent through the holy marriage of the only begotten daughter, true mother, true Father saw the fulfillment of complete salvation for humankind through the marriage blessing. So in Christianity, the birth of Jesus is celebrated, but his death is not. So while Jesus saw the providential beginning unfold, he was not able to marry and could not see the consummation of the providence. Meanwhile, true Father received God's divine mandate at the age of 16, and though he may have had a modest, weak beginning, his end point was very, very clear. It was clear, everyone. So, I don't know how much I have to emphasize how clear it was that I'm repeating it. So, anyways, Father's end point was very, very clear. So we must rejoice in and celebrate true Father's holy ascension even more than the world celebrates the birth of Jesus. And second, through the Chanuguk Foundation Day registration blessing ceremony, The true parents have restored all humankind to their original state in the Garden of Eden. They have enabled humanity to be registered and as citizens of Chanelguk, and the blessed families who have entered Chanelguk celebrate their birth, marriages, and death in the form of Songha ceremonies in the original Garden of Eden. And such ceremonies can only take place from a place where Heavenly Parent presides directly, and all people can speak with Heavenly Parent as His children, one on one. So every human born of Heavenly Parent has a path they must follow in the original world. So if there is a beginning, there must also be an end. Jesus, born as the only begotten Son, made way for the beginning of the providence but did not bring it to completion. True Father, however, demonstrated that completion in reality. Therefore, True Father's holy ascension brings joy and hope to all humanity. Therefore, in order to restore humanity to the original Garden of Eden, the place where God and true human beings can engage in direct dialogue, True Father worked tirelessly without ever truly resting. When he felt extreme, actually, on April 14, 2012, in Las Vegas, True Father declared at the final perfection and conclusion of the Cosmic Assembly for the proclamation of the settlement of true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, who as God's embodiment proclaimed the word. Father declared the following: Musomyoung and Han Hakcha, who are the true parents, have returned to that position prior to God telling Adam and Eve that if they ate the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, they would surely die. So he walked a perilous pioneering path to completely save fallen humanity and restore them to the original state in the Garden of Eden. And third, True Father broke down the boundaries between the spiritual and earthly realms, connecting them as one realm. And so the spiritual realm is our homeland where Heavenly Parents resides, and the earthly realm is the birthplace of humanity. So Cheonju, or the cosmos, is the unity of the spiritual and earthly realms, and it is a vast home where God and humanity live together as one. It is a homeland and birthplace where God and humanity live together in unity. So all blessed families living in both the spiritual and earthly realms live as sons and daughters of the direct lineage connected by blood to the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. So there they naturally experience both the spiritual and earthly worlds as one united realm. So while on earth, True Father lived as a perfected spiritual being who had seen perfection while on earth. So after ascending to the heavenly realm, he also lived as an earthly being living in the spirit world. And True Father's holy ascension, the boundary between the earthly and the spiritual realms has disappeared. So even though such a profoundly meaningful event has taken place among us here on earth, humanity lives completely unaware of it. It is for this reason that True Mother allowed us the grace of the Cheongshim One spiritual works. So that is why you are all here today, everyone. So the essence of that instruction was that through devotions at Cheongshim One, we are to directly experience, see, and live together with the spiritual realm. And fourth, True Father is the one who proclaimed the era of Cheonilguk in which Heavenly Parent and humanity live together as one. He opened the era of Cheonilguk in which all people on earth live as perfected spiritual beings. So from 1960 until the foundation day in 2013, through approximately 430 proclamation ceremonies, True Father precisely guided the providence according to Heavenly Parent's design. And from the enthronement for the kingship of God in 2001 until 2012, True Father devoted himself daily, counting down each day to Foundation Day. But then, you probably will all remember this, right? I remember really how Father would count each day as he approached Foundation Day. But then 6 months before the 2013 Foundation Day, in accordance to God's command, through
억조 창생 만순군왕 대관식 그리고 천일국 원년을
And through,
선포해
so
주셨습니다.
on the occasion of the 2013 Foundation Day of Chonalgok, True Mother proclaimed the coronation ceremony of the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind in Chonalgok. And through this, she officiated the true parents' holy marriage, the grand coronation of the true parents as the empress of truth, holiness, and virtue of Chonalgok, who is victorious in all things. Anyways, thereafter, through the Chonalgok Foundation Day registration blessing ceremony, she granted all blessed families registration in Chonalgok. And the foundation day of Chonalgok was the first day of the substantial Chonalgok. It was a day Heavenly Parent recovered the royal authority to govern Chonalgok. It was a day when all blessed families in the position of having received complete salvation through the blessing were registered in the original Garden of Eden. Do you all remember that year, 2013, everyone? One side is answering and the other side isn't. Everyone, let us respond with a big round of applause. So fifth, True Father established the foundation that the era of Heavenly Parents' direct sovereignty would manifest in reality. In the 6,000-year era of seeing God as the Father centered on men began with Alpha and was brought to completion with Omega. And now the only begotten daughter, True Mother, who has come as the substantial Heavenly Mother, has established the status of Heavenly Mother as both the Alpha and the Omega in Chonalgok. And as a result, Heavenly Parent, who is both our Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, can now live substantially with their children in heaven and on earth, ushering in the era of Chonalgok. So in order to serve and live with Heavenly Parent on earth and in the spirit world, we must cleanse the environment of the fall. The spirit world must be restored before the earthly world. So without organizing the spirit world, the earthly world cannot be organized. True Father repeatedly stated, I must go to the spirit world in order to completely put order to the spirit world and make it one realm. Father said this repeatedly. So only when the spirit world is fully united as one can the earthly and spiritual realms be connected as a single unified realm. Therefore, through this, let us all again reflect over the meaning of True Father's holy ascension through these points, and let us all really offer our deepest gratitude to our True Father. Therefore, together with the celebration of Jesus' birth, True Father's holy ascension should be celebrated as a day of festivity, a day of eternal joy for Heavenly Parent, all humanity, and creation. What do you think, everyone? Next year, in December, we'll be celebrating Jesus' birth, and on this day would also be, every year would be the day where we'll also be celebrating True Father's holy ascension. Thank you very much, everyone.
정말 참 어머님과 하나 되어 놀라운
Yes.
업적을 이루신
True Father, we were able to hear of True Father's life achievements in unity with our True Mother. Let us give a big round of applause to Director General Do Sung-yeon for his message.